Heavy monsoon rain has led to another deadly 24 hours in Pakistan, where at least 54 people have been killed in the country's east. The National Disaster Management Authority said the majority of deaths occurred when rising waters collapsed buildings. Now, with severe seasonal rainfall and melting Himalayan glaciers, Pakistan is one of the world's most vulnerable countries to the effects of climate change. Earlier, I spoke to journalist Ali Kaifi. He had recently been to one of the flood-affected areas. I asked him what he saw there.
Intense scenes across the country over the past few days. Gulf events triggered in the north, cloudbursts in the South Punjab, massive flooding in rivers and villages, dam bursts, damaged infrastructure, loss of lives in the hundreds, as you've already mentioned. I think in comparison to last year, the country received more than 82% more rainfall, according to the Pakistan's Met Department. The National Disaster Management Authority has issued updated alerts and has asked the local authorities to be on high alert. Tourists have been advised to avoid travel in the affected areas. In fact, we were in Talagang yesterday, 2 hours from the capital, Islamabad, where I am right now. We saw wheat and rice crops destroyed to where the eye could see, buildings damaged, bridges underwater, dam collapsed, and thousands of people internally displaced, being at the mercy of the government, and independent people were trying to assist with medical aid and rations, but it was just devastating. Here, I would also like to mention that monsoon rains are actually a routine part of South Asia's climate and essential for crop irrigation and replenishing water supplies. However, the adverse impact has worsened in the last few years due to rapid urban expansion and poor drainage systems. But more importantly, it all lies on extreme weather conditions that are linked to climate change.
And we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, Ali. But if you could just give us a sense of how the authorities are responding and how they're implementing the recovery effort.
Well, the national emergency has been imposed in Punjab, in fact, across the country as well. With the Pakistan Disaster Management Authority, Rescue 1122, alongside the army, are making relief efforts not only by providing support to the affected, but also by relocating them to safer and higher locations. We have seen in the last few days helicopters flying over flooded areas, boats in the flooded areas trying to rescue these people. The intensity and scale is so high that it's extremely difficult for the authorities to cater to everyone. But the country seems to be working as one body with the government providing relief to the affected. So they're trying as much as they can.
Yeah, Ali, as you were making the point earlier, Pakistan has been affected by frequent floods. We were noting that it is very vulnerable, the country, to the impact of climate change. And how is the government adapting in terms of addressing the climate change challenges that the country is experiencing?
Well, I can tell you climate change is now a household term, and people are now aware of the changing dynamics and the impact that it's been having. Pakistan, as we all know, contributes less than 1% of the global emissions, yet it is at the receiving end. But it's very difficult for the government to adapt to these situations because every year there is a new scenario. Cloudburst was a term not known to many people in the country in the early 2000s. But now people understand what it means. Like, for example, 400 millimeters of water over a period of 8 hours in the last 8 to 10 hours. It's just unimaginable. So the government is trying its best to cope with that. They have raised these issues during the COP conferences in the last few years. And yeah, they're trying their best to address these issues.
All right, that is journalist Ali Kaifi in Islamabad. Thank you for your reporting, Ali.